We're covering breaking news this morning. Authorities searching for a missing girl who could be in danger, who authorities say she could be with.
Plus, new developments in the search for an assassin. What authorities are revealing about Charlie Kirk's killer.
Plus, our Call for Action team continues to help consumers. Our Michelle Renee Quinn will share one of the many success stories.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to News 3 Now This Morning. I'm Kyrian Lee.
I'm Chris Stanford.
We're starting with breaking news this morning. An Amber Alert is active right now for a missing Portage County girl.
Authorities say she could be with her uncle and need your help. Take a close look at your screen. We'll pull up their pictures. 6-year-old Ruby Lehman on your left, last seen at her grandmother's house after school. Police say that her uncle, 34-year-old Jordan Coyle, may have come to pick her up. Ruby has brown hair, green eyes, last seen wearing a lavender dress with smiling faces and white shoes with Lilo and Stitch on them. Coyles has red hair, a beard and a mustache, blue eyes, and is about 6'3". Authorities also say that he has multiple tattoos, including a cat, dinosaur, puppy, butterfly, all on his arm. He also has a peace symbol tattooed on his chest. Police searching for this white 2001 Ford F-250 this morning. It has a license plate that reads WC2249. If you see them, here is the number to call, 888-304-3936. Again, 888-304-3936.
We'll continue to follow this and share more details on channel3000.com. But first, let's check in now with meteorologist Savannah Brito. What's it looking like for us this morning?
Well, everyone should allow a little bit of extra time because the fog that we've got, it's a little bit more dense and more widespread than what we had yesterday. Madison's been down to about 2 miles or so for the last hour, that affecting all of Dane County, Janesville, Monroe, Wisconsin Dells, Lone Rock, Juneau, Waukesha, Milwaukee, Watoma, all down to just a 1/4 mile. So this, like you could see, a lot more widespread. This whole entire contour, pretty much everyone aside of far west areas dealing with the fog. By mid to late morning, the fog moves out of here, and temperatures, those are going to rise because we'll see a lot of sunshine. 65 your temperature at 10 in the morning, and then temperatures for lunchtime already up to the mid 70s. We'll top out in the lower 80s. There might be a couple spots that even reach the mid 80s. We'll talk about how long this warm stretch is going to last and time out any showers we could see this upcoming weekend.
Sounds good, Savannah. This morning, authorities are still searching for Charlie Kirk's killer.
Utah's governor and the FBI are releasing new details about the investigation. Overnight, the FBI released surveillance video showing a person running across a roof after the shooting. They also released new images of the suspect and said they have found a high-powered bolt-action rifle. A tip line was launched, and Utah's governor said more than 7,000 tips have already come in. Governor Tony Evers spoke out on the shooting, calling for an end to political violence.
I'm hoping, and I know this is kind of hoping against hope, but it would be great if we could find some way to control firearms. But that's always something that's very, very difficult. So in the meantime, we're really sad and hopeful that as a country we can come together.
Governor Evers also says he originally heard about the shooting through social media like many others.
On the other side of the aisle, Republican Congressman Derek Van Orden now blaming Kirk's death on the media. Listen.
Every single one of you here, you're at fault. Hey, you know what? Knock it off. Knock it off.
Do you believe Republicans are the problem?
You are responsible for that assassination yesterday. You should be ashamed of yourself. What about the Democratic lawmakers?
Now, immediately following the assassination, Van Orden also posted on X calling the shooting, quote, left-wing political violence, and that the, quote, gloves are off. He also said that he is praying fervently for Kirk's family.
Wednesday's shooting is prompting many social media organizations to rethink their editorial decisions on content related to the shooting. TikTok says it will remove videos showing close-up views of the event and remove search terms that seek out the raw footage. Meta says they are blocking it from people under 18 and removing content that supports or glorifies the shooting. An online gaming platform, Roblox, says it has removed more than 100 experiences or user-generated games related to the shooting.
6:04 now. Attorney General Josh Kahn, local law enforcement leaders are raising awareness about digital safety in school. The Internet Crimes Against Children Task Force says more than 11,000 tips of Internet threats were received last year. Those included cyberbullying, exposure to sexual abuse material, all the way to sextortion.
What's important for parents to do is to communicate with their kids and to know that there are resources out there, resources provided by the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, resources like the SUSO tip line, because when parents get that information, it can empower them to help keep their kids safe.
So far this year, the task force has received 400 tips related to sextortion.
Happening today, the Fall River man accused of stabbing a 17-year-old and then running her over in 2022 is set to be sentenced. A judge found Dylan Lenz guilty of attempted first-degree intentional homicide. He allegedly told investigators he was trying to kill the girl. She was found in a Walmart parking lot with several injuries. His sentencing is set for this afternoon at 1.
Turning to more national news this morning, former president of Brazil now sentenced to nearly 30 years in prison for not leaving office. The country's Supreme Court convicted and sentenced Jair Bolsonaro after he lost the 2022 election. Bolsonaro has maintained his innocence. President Trump said that he was very unhappy with the conviction. Secretary of State Marco Rubio says the government will now respond. In response, the U.S. has placed already a 50% tariff on imported Brazilian goods.
This morning, a plane is underwater in Lake Michigan after it crashed with 3 people inside yesterday afternoon. It happened off the shore of Racine. All 3 people are okay. Officials say their use of life jackets saved them. The Coast Guard sent a helicopter and a boat to the rescue. The plane was on a flight from Milwaukee to Michigan when it went down. We still don't know what caused the crash.
6:06 now. We are gearing up for our Call for Action telethon next week. Calls for Action helps consumers like you solve consumer issues, big or small.
Today, our consumer reporter, Michelle Renee Quinn, here in studio, highlighting a Call for Action success. Good morning.
Chris, Kyrion, good morning. A Platteville man switched TV providers after Dish Network advertised a $400 gift card, and David Miller switched based on that promotion. But the company failed to deliver on that promise despite Miller's calls. So he decided to contact Call for Action. And Call for Action volunteer Mary was able to contact the communications manager via formal mail. Dish Network called the customer and sent the promised gift card within weeks. Call for Action encourages consumers facing any type of consumer issue to reach for help.
It doesn't have to be a huge issue. It doesn't have to be, or it can be a small issue. It doesn't matter. We just want to try to help make things right. And that's our goal, is to make things right for the consumer.
Now stick around for the next half hour. I'll have an update to the Call for Action Rock County fence and deck case. A statement from the owner is coming up next in my consumer report. And you can join me live next Thursday from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. during the Call for Action telethon. Our volunteers will be in the building answering your consumer calls for 3 straight hours.
All right, let's hope it's a success. And anyone who needs help, feel free to reach out.
Yes.
Michelle Renee, thank you.
Of course.
Happening today, Madison's popular night market, Sauced, is making a return at Garver Feed Mill. The event is from 5 to 10 p.m., featuring 50 local vendors, plus food, drinks, and live music. Outside, Food Truck Friday will bring local flavors to the patio, along with performances by the Night Painters and a Lunar Moth. Vendors will be selling everything from vintage home decor to small batch hot sauce. The event is free with an RSVP and open to all ages.
All right, just need some nice weather to go along with the event tonight.
And I think that's going to pair up real nicely for people that are getting out there to Garver Feed Mill. Savannah?
Yeah, I do think Friday evening looks pretty good. All the rain looks like it's going to hold off until later, probably after midnight. Might see a few spotty showers up before then. That's mainly going to be west of Madison, though. We're at 54, and you can see not a lot going on behind me. That's all the dense fog that we're experiencing with very high humidity levels this morning. Our dew point exactly where our temperature is. And check out exactly how low our visibilities are all across the map. The dense fog advisories are pretty much confined to areas east right now, but Madison's been down to under 2 miles for quite some time. There are several areas down to just a quarter of a mile, including Lone Rock, Wisconsin Dells, Watoma, Monroe, Janesville, Juneau, Waukesha, Milwaukee, and Sheboygan. So allow a little bit of extra time out there early this morning. The fog clears by mid to late morning, and then we'll see some sunshine.
All right, Savannah, we'll talk to you shortly. Last night, the Packers in action trying to pick up their second win of the season against the Commanders, who had a big night. We'll have reaction and the Packers player we're not going to see on the field for a while.
You're watching watching News 3 Now this morning. Moving forward.
Welcome back. The Packers continuing their winning streak last night after taking on the Washington Commanders.
News 3 Now's Jason Weldy and Andrew Bandstra have the highlights, the reaction, and some injury news from Lambeau.
Under the lights of Lambeau last night, the Packers were in prime time. They opened up week 2 of the NFL season looking to get off to a 2-0 start. But first, remembered the tragedies of 9/11 with some help from the 115th Fighter Wing out of Madison in a matchup that will be remembered as the Tucker Kraft game. In the first quarter, the Pack proved pressure makes diamonds. Jordan Love leads a 96-yard touchdown drive and finishes it off firing a bullet to Romeo Doubs, digging Washington into a 7-point hole. They followed the same script in the second, another drive that started inside the 10, ends in the end zone. This time a 92-yard long haul of a drive, just setting up Josh Jacobs, who extends his franchise record, striking gold for the 11th straight game, make it 14-0 Green Bay. And how could we forget, in the fourth, Tucker Kraft tuckers out Washington's defense, adding a touchdown to his first career 100-plus yard game. The big man finished with 124 through the air as the Packers win it 27-18.
I'm expecting big things from Tuck this year, but it's just, it's one of those things that's who Tuck is every day. He comes in and puts that work in, and, in practice every day he's making those big-time plays.
He's a guy that approaches the game the right way. I can't say enough great things about Tuck, and just the growth that we've seen from him from the time he's gotten here. But it's not only on the football field, it's every facet of life, I would say, and he's a real leader for us.
And the only right way to break down another Packer win is to bring in our Packers senior writer, Jason Weldy. And Jason, last night was a whiteout. I don't think you got the memo, though.
I did not. No, I did not wear white. You did. You did a good job. But look, this was a whiteout by the defense. This is 2 weeks in a row now where they've taken on a really good NFC team, and they've made them look bad. And now we'll see if they can sustain it for another 15.
And if you just looked at the stat sheet and you just looked at the score of the game, the offense looked good, but kind of like that area at the Milwaukee airport, and sometimes they look discombobulated. Would that be a fair assessment?
Yeah, I think Jordan Love would say he needs to enter the recombobulation era so he can be a little bit more productive. But again, you can't expect perfection, right? It's an imperfect game. What they have done offensively is 2 games in a row gotten off to a fast start.
And I don't think we would have found out this news last night had it not have been for this guy right here asking Matt LaFleur directly. But Jaden Reed did break his collarbone, as he told you, and will be out for a while. We saw Tucker Kraft step up big time last night. Just how big was that game for him, and what can he do to continue unlocking this offense?
Yeah, first of all, with Reed, he is a spark plug for these guys. And he was already, as people know, playing with a Jones fracture in his foot. So if you want to look on the bright side, when you suffer an injury like this, they both can heal simultaneously, and he can be kind of that late season addition now that kind of gets them going again, because it's not always going to be perfect. They're not going 17-0. I don't want to spoiler alert. But Tucker Kraft has said he wants to be one of the best tight ends in the league, and he made a really convincing case. I'm eager to see what his ceiling is, because now we've seen his floor.
These last 5 days at Lambeau have been awesome, but the Packers are going to push the pause button on being at home, at least for the near term, another month until they're back here at Lambeau, which means that Jason and I don't get to do this again for another month, at least after a Packer game. But we can't wait for that to happen. Another big-time Packer win and another big-time post-game report from Jason Weldy. For Jason, I'm Andrew Bandstra, signing off from Lambeau Field for News 3 Sports.
Thanks, fellas. And we've got the Badger volleyball team in action tonight, and football hitting the road this weekend to take on Alabama tomorrow.
Ahead of those games, Wisconsin Huddle's first episode is scheduled to air tonight at 6:30. We will bring you exclusive insights from players and behind-the-scenes access you won't get anywhere else. Plus, wide receiver Tresh Kekahuna is the player of the week.
All right, let's check in with Savannah now. Look at your first warn forecast. Tracking fog yet again this morning. Oh, what's it like out there?
Yeah, pretty dense fog too, and that making its way into Madison. We've been down to under 2 miles for quite some time now here in the city. Janesville's down to 1/4 mile. That's where a lot of surrounding areas are too. So those areas that were dealing with dense fog yesterday up near Viroqua and La Crosse right now are up to full visibility. Same with Prairie du Chien. This is a live look outside of Madison showing all of that dense fog. You really can't make out the buildings or the lake there either. Once the fog clears early this morning, the rest of the day is looking really good. We'll see some sunshine and warm temperatures. We're at 54 right now. Also got a lot of cloud cover out there too, but we will see the sun later. I do think mostly to partly sunny skies in the afternoon forecast, and then temperatures that climb at least into the lower 80s. Given the right amount of sunshine, there could be some areas that top out in the mid 80s. We've still got, relatively speaking, lower dew points that fall in that comfortable category, but then they're really going to jump upwards of at least 65, if not close to 75 degrees overnight tonight with the next system and chance of rain moving in, and that'll be pretty much through all the weekend and even into early next week. Got to wait till about Wednesday, Thursday, late in the week next week until we see those dew points come down again. As we take you through the afternoon, looking at a strong southerly wind, also going to be breezy, more breezy than yesterday with winds gusting at least up to about 15 to 20 miles per hour and temperatures that reach about 80. Like I said, if we do see a lot of sunshine, which I do think there's a good chance of that, and the fog clearing and the clouds also moving out of southern Wisconsin, could see a couple of mid 80s. And then as late as about 9 to 10 p.m. this evening, could see a couple of spotty showers. I think that's going to be west of Madison and still mostly dry, but we will see clouds increase again. More scattered in nature as we push after the midnight hour and closer to about 2 to 3 a.m. Saturday. I think it'll be pretty widespread with us waking up early Saturday morning. That'll take us the majority of the morning, even into late morning. By about 10:30 to 11, I think we're just left with a couple of spotty showers and the majority of the heavy rain pushing south across northern Illinois. We will still see some sunshine tomorrow, so it's not going to be a washout. The morning does look rainy. The rest of Saturday looks pretty good. Overnight hours, we will see clouds increase as we head closer to daybreak Sunday. I think Sunday looks like the drier day, and we will see the sunshine return for Sunday afternoon. But keep in mind, it's going to be muggy all weekend, and temperatures will feel summer-like. 87 on Sunday, and then we've got plenty of 80s the majority of next week. Looks like we'll break down a little bit late in the week, but above average temps for quite some time.
Think we'll hit 90 on Sunday? Could we get close?
Maybe like 89 areas south of Madison, but I think most of us are looking at the mid to upper 80s.
All right, good stuff. Savannah, thank you. Well, still ahead, we are talking about M&M's newest flavor, and we'll have our picks for this weekend's Badger football game against Alabama.
And coming up in our next half hour, Wisconsin Assembly Speaker Robin Vos now responding to calls to increase security around the Capitol after the Charlie Kirk assassination. His response ahead.
Here are your gas prices. We're back with what's trending right after this.
That is cool.
Oh.
Sure is.
Gwen is sharing her morning with us. Look at these 2 sandhill cranes.
The wings spread out.
Yeah, caught in action.
Nature.
I like that.
Always. Gwen, thank you so much. Keep sending in those. I can't get my words out this morning. Those photos. Hashtag My News 3 Morning. Yes.
Nailed it.
There we go.
Got it.
Yeah.
What's trending this morning?
Well, what's trending this morning is M&M's is bringing the buzz with a sweet and salty twist with the all-new M&M's Honey Roasted Peanuts.
All right.
Honey roasted peanut flavor M&Ms. Here they are. It's a sweet and salty combo with crunchy peanuts, golden honey, and the iconic candy shell, of course. And it's joining fan favorites like PB&J and Peanut Butter Mini. So there is PB&J.
There is PB&J. I haven't tried those ones yet, but they're definitely on the list along with this one right here.
Yes.
So I got questions. Like, I know we don't know a lot about the peanut butter and jelly M&Ms, but like, are some peanut butter and some jelly, or is the peanut butter and jelly flavor combined?
I think this is an investigative situation that you have to come back and report to us. Maybe we'll even be your people to help you
I'm on
figure
the
it
case.
out.
Yes, gotta seek those.
Assigned to Chris.
Assigned to Chris. There you go.
Yeah, so you can get those nationwide in the stores. Maybe I'll have to try to get those for us
sound
today.
good.
You better do that on a Thursday or Friday.
Or I could do it on a Monday.
Or Monday.
When
Michelle
one of these
is
days,
here,
you're here.
I want to be here.
Well, okay. Well, here's what's trending in our in our newsroom here. The Badgers take on the Crimson Tide tomorrow, and we've got our predictions for the big game. So let's just say confidence in a Badger upset is running a little low this week. Take a look at Josh's prediction. He's predicting a blowout. 3-42 Alabama.
7:38. That's going to be the score tomorrow.
That's what Savannah's feeling.
7:42. They're just going to pass that 38.
I think it's 10:42 last year, 10:41 last year, something.
Oh, okay. So she's
So
going off
not
last year's
far.
numbers. Okay. And I have a little more faith in the Badgers, so I've got it at 17-35. Still Alabama, but this is a bit closer.
I was a field goal away last week from nailing my score.
Yeah.
So I'm feeling pretty good. I think this one's going to be a little tighter. Bama has shown us that they're not quite the team we thought they were in the first start of the year. From the start of the year.
Yeah.
And the Badgers looked good last weekend. I know it was against a cupcake, but, hey, we'll see. I'm not lying. You know what I'm talking about. You know.
We'll talk about the fog up next.
Breaking this morning, an Amber Alert is active right now for a missing child. Who to be on the lookout for?
Plus, new video of Charlie Kirk's suspected shooter as the manhunt intensifies.
And the Packers in prime time, who had a big night, and the wide receiver we won't see on the field again for a while.
Thanks for joining us here on News 3 Now this morning. I'm Chris Stanford.
And I'm Kyrie Lee. We begin with urgent breaking news this morning. An Amber Alert is active for a Portage County child. Law enforcement says she may be with her uncle.
Take a look at your screen. We have a picture of Ruby Lehman, last seen with her at her grandmother's house in Allman, Wisconsin, up in central Wisconsin. Police say that they believe that she is now with her uncle, Jordan Coyle.
Ruby is 6 years old with brown hair and green eyes. She was last seen wearing a lavender dress with smiley faces and white shoes with characters Lilo and Stitch.
Coyle, 34 years old, red hair, a beard, and a mustache. He has blue eyes and is about 6'3". Coyle has a peace symbol tattooed on his chest. He also has a dinosaur, puppy, butterfly, and a cat rather, tattooed on his arm. He is believed to be driving a 2001 white Ford F-250 with a Wisconsin plate that reads WC2249. If you know where they could be, here is the number to call, 888-304-3936. Again, that is 888-304-3936.
You can get the latest updates on this story sent straight to your phone with the Channel 3000 News app. With the app, you'll receive breaking news push alerts as soon as they happen. It's free to download. Just search Channel 3000 in your phone's app store.
All right, it is a foggy start to your Friday morning. Here's Savannah to let you know what it looks like outside.
Yeah,
Hey.
check it out, guys. You can barely make out some of these boats in the lake there, and then really not the skyline or the buildings back there at all. Very, very foggy. Allow a little bit of extra time before you hit the road early this morning. Through about mid to late morning, that's how long the fog is expected to persist. The rest of the day looking good, very similar to yesterday. A little warmer though as temperatures get close to 80 degrees. Here are current visibilities. Madison was hanging on to just about 2 miles. They're now down to just half a mile of visibility, and that checks with what we just showed over our SkyTrack camera. Janesville, Juneau, Watoma, Waukesha, Milwaukee, and Sheboygan all down to just a quarter of a mile. But like I said, conditions are going to gradually improve the rest of the day, and the good news is we won't see rain today. That'll be a different story tomorrow morning. We'll time out those showers coming up in just a little bit and talk about also how much rainfall that's in the forecast.
All right, Savannah, thank you. Developing this morning, the manhunt intensifying for the assassin of conservative activist Charlie Kirk.
New video overnight from the FBI shows the apparent shooter jumping from the roof of a building after firing the deadly shot. The suspect, wearing a black T-shirt with an American flag, remains on the run. At this hour, the shooter's motive is still unclear. In response, security has increased at the White House and Congress. Last night, security was heightened around President Trump's Yankees-Tigers game box. And a 9/11 ceremony was relocated for safety. Congressional leaders are considering further security measures.
I talked to my wife, and she really wants me to start wearing a bulletproof vest.
I like being accessible, but being accessible is starting to look like being vulnerable.
Closer to home, the death of Kirk and the targeted shootings of 2 Minnesota state lawmakers has lawmakers here considering safety. When asked about safety, Speaker Robin Vos says he does not want to fortify the Capitol. That's as the violence has happened outside federal buildings. He did say he supports increasing security inside homes.
And happening this evening, the Republican Party here in Dane County will host a vigil for Charlie Kirk that is scheduled for 5:30 this evening outside of the State Street entrance to the Capitol.
New this morning, Senate Democratic leader Chuck Schumer is warning of a government shutdown if Republicans don't accept Democrats' health demands. That shutdown could happen by the end of the month.
Associated Press reporting this less than an hour ago as we take a live look at the Capitol. This all comes after a vote in March when Senator Schumer voted with Republicans to keep the government open. Schumer now says that he and House Democratic leader Hakeem Jeffries are united in opposing any legislation that doesn't include key health care provisions. Schumer says the country is in a different place than it was in March. 6:34 now. We now know more about a shooting at a high school in suburban Denver this week. Lawmakers say the 16-year-old shooter had been radicalized by an unspecified extremist network. The shooter hurt two people, one inside and one outside of the school, before shooting himself. Hundreds of law enforcement across the Denver metro racing to the scene to help. Some students ran out, others locked down. Law enforcement are praising school staff for acting quickly to lock down classrooms.
He would fire and reload, fire and reload, fire and reload. This went on and on. And as he did that, he tried to find new targets. And he came up against a roadblock on many of those doors. He couldn't get to those kids.
Classes at Evergreen High School are canceled today. The school is in the same county as Columbine High School, the scene of a 1999 massacre that left 14 dead.
This morning, we still don't know the nature of the threats that led to lockdowns at several historically black colleges yesterday. Virginia State abruptly closed due to a threat. Authorities have not disclosed the specifics, but no one was injured. Students living on campus were told to remain indoors. Hampton University also closed due to a potential campus threat. Several other HBCUs were placed on lockdown due to similar potential threats.
This morning, the trial for the man accused of trying to assassinate President Trump in Florida will continue. Ryan Ruth, who is representing himself, went on a rant during opening statements yesterday. The judge eventually cut him off. Prosecutors say Ruth built a sniper's nest last September, just a hole away from where the president was playing golf.
Now to more local news. President Donald Trump has approved $29.8 million in disaster relief funds for Wisconsin after last month's historic flooding. Local leaders across the state say this approval is a step in the right direction, but $46 million in damages remain unaddressed. These figures come after FEMA conducted damage assessments. It's estimated that $33 million in individual damages happened, with 1,500 residences damaged or destroyed. This is in addition to $43 million in public damages across the state.
6:36 now, turning to the Packers. Green Bay looking to build off of Sunday's big win on a short week against the Commanders. Under the lights in prime time on Amazon Prime. First quarter, Jordan Love connects to Tucker Kraft for 57 yards downfield. Kraft had a huge game, 124 yards and a touchdown on the night. The drive ends with Jordan Love hitting Romeo Doubs for the score to put the Packers on the board. 7-0 Green Bay. Second quarter now, Packers threatening to score, and Josh Jacobs pounds it in. 84 yards on 23 carries for him. 14-0 Pack. Fourth quarter, Packers still with the lead, and Jordan Love to guess who? Tucker Kraft. Love finishes with almost 300 yards and 2 touchdowns. Final score 27-18 Green Bay. Some injury news, though. Wide receiver Jaden Reed broke his collarbone. NFL.com says he's going to be out for 6 to 8 weeks. Green Bay moves to 2-0 on the season and play the Browns next on the 21st.
This Saturday, Badger football is on the road, ready to face a major test with Alabama. This year, the Badgers wanted to upgrade their defense, which slipped last year, and it looks like they've done just that. They shut out Miami of Ohio 17-0 and beat Middle Tennessee 42-10. Meanwhile, Alabama lost at Florida State for its opener, but they rolled over Louisiana Monroe with a 73-0 victory. They're set to square off against Alabama on Saturday at 11.
And the Wisconsin women's volleyball team in action tonight. They're going to face a road test, their first big one of the season, They're headed to Atlanta to face 21-ranked Georgia Tech. In December, the Badgers took down the Yellow Jackets to advance in the NCAA tournament for the women's team. Had the advantage of playing at the field house. Again, they are on the road tonight. That is a 6 p.m. start.
Our coat total for the Coats for Kids drive just got a boost with more than 120 coats donated. We're now up to 495 donations, but we're looking to reach 5,000. We are collecting new or gently used coats in all sizes, but infant, toddler, and large teen sizes are needed most. Winter accessories like hats, scarves, mittens, snow pants, and snowsuits are also needed. You can find more information right now at channel3000.com. You can donate to any Madison area Clinky Cleaners until October 4th.
This weekend, you can watch the Emmys right here on CBS. This year, some of the big names up for an Emmy include Apple TV's Severance and The Studio. And hey, how about this? Kathy Bates, the star of the reboot of Matlock, up for, and really the front runner in her role. She is up for a Best Leading Actress in a Drama. Here's my thing about the Emmys right now. I mean, I'm so disconnected to so many of these shows. They're all on all these different streaming platforms. You know, back in the day, it was all these network programs, or if you had basic cable, you knew what shows were up for Emmys. And now, I mean, you need all these different subscriptions. Only 3 major broadcast shows are representative in major categories.
Wow.
You know, out of all, you know, the Hulus, the Netflixes, the Disney Pluses, the Primes, and all that stuff.
All of them.
I mean, I did the math this morning. You got to pay like something like $130 a month now to get all of the major streaming services.
Yeah, and it's basically like having satellite or something, just about.
Yeah. I know, but still, it's always a good show. I mean, they make it just fun TV to watch. Nate Bargatze is hosting this year, his first time on that kind of big stage. Hilarious comedian, and we'll see how he does when he's in front of, you know, that kind of worldwide audience.
Yeah, I think it'll be a good one. I know he's a clean comedian, so I think it'll be some good family fun to tune into. Yeah. But yeah, it's hard for me to keep up with all the shows these days.
All right.
We'll see what's up for grabs.
Sunday, right here on News 3.
Well, let's check in now with Savannah, who's tracking some fog this morning.
Yeah, good morning, guys. Definitely a foggy start. Madison's down to just half a mile. Janesville at a quarter, 0 in Monroe, 0 in Wisconsin Dells. But still, the only fog advisory, dense fog advisory that we have is for these counties that are all to our north, by Watoma, and then towards Waukesha and Milwaukee. By mid to late morning, fog's expected to move out of here. That's expected to run until 10 a.m. Just because your county is shaded, though, does not mean that you're not waking up to dense fog. Allow a little bit of extra time. We've got comfy temperatures, but our dew points are exactly where our temperatures are. So we have saturation, which is why we're seeing that fog out there this morning. A lot of high humidity levels. 55 right now in Madison, and then we're going to see the 80s later. We'll talk about how many days in a row we could see that last.
Thanks, Savannah. And new this morning, an update to the Rock County Fence and Deck story. The number of consumers refunded and projects completed is coming up in my Consumer Report.
You're watching News 3 Now this morning. Moving forward.
Welcome back. We have an update to the Rock County Fence and Deck story that our Call for Action team brought to light.
This morning, our consumer reporter, Michelle Renee Quinn, has the first statement that we've seen from owner Joshua Wilkes. Good morning.
Good morning. You'll remember this story involved multiple people who were left with nothing after paying in full for services like a new deck. Now, they reached out to Call for Action, and action was certainly taken. Out of Call for Action's 11 different clients, we have had 5 projects completed, 4 full refunds, and 2 clients refunded at 90%. And those 2 are waiting for the last 10% of their refunds. CFA volunteers do say they'll receive it by the end of this week. Now, Josh Wilkes, Rock County Fence and Deck owner, sent a statement to News 3 Now apologizing for the previous management of the company since February 2024. It reads in part, "I've recently taken back over my company as of July 25. This company was built off hard work, quality builds, and a fair price. Since I've taken back over my company, people have been getting their refunds or projects built to satisfaction. I've had the chance to meet with many said clients to either build their projects or hand them their refunds and give them the chance to speak on their situations that occurred and give them my deepest apologies face to face." So Wilkes is now facing 3 felony theft by contractor charges. The court set a $1,000 signature bond for his release, and an arraignment is scheduled for September 22nd. You can read the full statement as well as the full story on channel3000.com. And you can join me next week Thursday from 4 to 7 p.m. live. I'll be hosting the Call for Action Telethon, and no matter how big that consumer issue is, whether it's thousands of dollars on a deck or just maybe a couple hundred on a gift card, Call for Action is here to help, and they're offering advice, so they'll be in the building for 3 hours answering those calls.
And these volunteers, I mean, they're committed to all these cases.
Absolutely.
It is incredible to watch them work, and their level of involvement in this, doesn't it just lifts you up to know that they're doing this kind of good for our folks.
Absolutely, and they'll follow it for months until it gets solved or until they can do absolutely everything that they can. So
yes, and so they're very good at what they do as well.
Exactly. So tune in next Thursday.
Michelle Renee, thank you.
Of course.
6:46. Let's check in with Savannah, see what's going on with that fog outside. It's been pretty thick this morning. Is any of it lifting yet?
Not so much yet. We're still down to just half a mile in Madison, half in Juneau, 0 in the Dells, and 0 in Monroe. So it's actually becoming a little bit more on the dense side of things compared to even a couple of hours ago, and more widespread. But it's still not reaching areas like Prairie du Chien, Viroqua, and La Crosse. By mid to late morning, fog clears. This is one of the live shots that we have on one of our cameras in downtown Madison. You can make out the boats barely, just showing and painting a picture at how foggy it is out there this morning. But like I said, by about 9:10, most of the fog moves out of here. Could persist across some of southern Wisconsin until about 11, and then we'll see some sunshine after the thicker clouds move out, and temperatures that are going to reach the lower 80s. I think a couple spots could even top out in the mid 80s. A nice day ahead with low humidity still. This is where the rest of us fall right now. 54 in Juneau, 55 in Janesville, 50 degrees in Wisconsin Dells. So most of us are in the lower to mid 50s. Few of us are a little bit warmer than that. As far as dew points go, still ranging about 55 to 60 degrees through today, but that still falls in the comfortable category. Once we get overnight into early Saturday morning, that's when our dew points come up, and that's the way they're pretty much going to stay, at least 60 degrees, if not close to 65 or even 70 degree dew points. That'll be with our next system that brings us some rain in by the weekend. Most of today is going to be dry. Can't rule out a couple of spotty showers as we head closer to 9 to 10 p.m. So most of the football games should be dry unless you're heading far west towards Prairie du Chien, Boscobel, Viroqua. Might want to grab a light jacket. It's not going to be necessarily cool by any means, but you might see a few showers. They'll become more widespread, scattered to widespread after midnight. This is 2 to 3, and then that majority of the system with the heavy rainfall, maybe even a couple of isolated non-severe thunderstorms by early Saturday morning. That's going to linger through mid to late morning as we push closer to the lunchtime hour. That's when all the heavy rain moves south. That's going to be more so south of us across northern Illinois. Might see a few spotty showers still at that point in time, but I think the second half of tomorrow looks good with sunshine returning. And then as we head into the overnight hours of early Sunday, that's when some clouds thicken up. Not going to last that long, though. We should see a lot of sunshine and clearing on Sunday, but it'll be the warmer day and temperatures that are going to reach the upper 80s. So it'll be a hot day. After that, we stay with well above average temperatures for the foreseeable future. Every single day next week, for the most part, at least the mid, if not upper 80s. As we get closer to about Friday and the next weekend, that's when temps come down a little bit, but still above average in the mid to upper 70s.
All right. Summer said, I'm still here.
Reminding us, yeah, we still got, what, 10 days left?
9 days.
9 days left now?
10 until fall starts, yeah. Okay. At 1:19, September 22nd.
1:19, real specific there. Okay.
I always do that.
So get out and enjoy these temps while you can.
Yep.
Savannah, thank you. Hey, Savannah's looking to plan your day, but you have to send us a video or a picture, and you'll get that customized forecast. So send it in and watch for your video.
Coming up in the morning sprint, why international superstar Bad Bunny won't be bringing his tour to the U.S.
If you have a little kid turning 3, you know what to do. Send us a picture. We'll show it on television. .6:53, time for the morning sprint.
We're following breaking news this morning. An Amber Alert is in effect for 6-year-old Ruby Lehman. Law enforcement says she may be with her uncle, Jordan Coyle. Take a look at your screen now. She was last seen at her grandmother's house in Almond. Police say Coyle is driving a white 2001 Ford F-250 with a Wisconsin license plate WC2249. Anyone with information should call 888-304-3936.
The manhunt intensifying for the shooter of conservative activist Charlie Kirk. The FBI releasing new video of the apparent shooter jumping from the roof of a building after firing the deadly shot. Utah's governor said so far investigators have received more than 7,000 leads and tips and completed some 200 interviews.
Puerto Rican musician Bad Bunny says he is skipping the U.S. out of fear that ICE would raid the concert venues. He has previously been critical of ICE operations, which have intensified under the president. The musician kicked off his tour with a 2-month residency in San Juan. He says that people could travel to Puerto Rico to see his show. Bad Bunny's worldwide tour begins this fall.
A live look at Capitol Hill this morning. Senate Democratic leader Chuck Schumer warning of a potential government shutdown by the end of this month. Schumer uniting with House Democratic leader Hakeem Jeffries and standing firm against any legislation lacking key health provisions. It marks a shift since March when Schumer voted with Republicans to keep the government open.
Turning now to the Packers. Green Bay built off Sunday's big win on a short week against the Commanders last night. Under the lights in prime time on Amazon Prime. They beat the Commanders 27-18. Injury news though, wide receiver Jaden Reed broke his collarbone. Green Bay moves to 2-0 and will play the Browns on the 21st.
President Trump approving almost $30 million in disaster relief for Wisconsin. It comes after last month's historic flooding. Local leaders across the state say the disaster declaration approval is a step in the right direction, but $46 million in damages remain unaddressed.
The Fall River man accused of stabbing a 17-year-old before running her over in 2022 is set to be sentenced. A judge found Dylan Lenz guilty of attempted first-degree intentional homicide. He told investigators he was trying to kill the girl. She was found in a Walmart parking lot with several injuries. His sentencing is set for this afternoon at 1.
Lawmakers say the 16-year-old shooter at a Colorado high school had been radicalized by an unspecified extremist network. The shooter hurt 2 people, one inside and one outside of the school, before shooting himself. Classes at Evergreen High School are canceled today.
Temperatures are going to be near the 80-degree mark. We will have sunshine. We're just waking up with a lot of dense fog right now. And then we've got even warmer temperatures for the weekend, 85 on Saturday and then 87 on Sunday. We will see rain late tonight into early tomorrow, lasting most of the morning, but then the rest of Saturday looks good with anyone that has any outdoor plans. Don't think we'll run into too many issues unless you have them early Saturday.
All right, I'll be sure to make some outdoor plans. That's for certain.
CBS Mornings is next.
Our next newscast is at noon. Have a good weekend.